The desert wind whispers ancient secrets, and our story begins long before a crown ever touched a young man's head. The birth of a destiny. Egypt was a kingdom of sun-burning glory, mighty walls, towering statues, and a pharaoh whose voice determined life and death. But beneath the gold, fear lived. The Israelites were growing too many, and Pharaoh's answer was cruel. Every newborn boy cast into the Nile. But one mother refused to let destiny drown her child. With trembling hands and a heart full of faith, she placed her baby in a basket woven from hope and desperation. The Nile carried the child through water that shimmered like melted gold, until destiny guided the basket into the hands of Pharaoh's daughter. She lifted the child from the river, and the wind seemed to pause. She named him Moses, born a slave, raised as a prince. The prince and the slave. Moses grew up with chariots at his command and Egypt's future at his feet. He and his brother Ramesses were as close as sunrise and shadow, racing horses, breaking rules, laughing at danger. Two boys who thought the throne was just a game. But kingdoms are built on truth, and truth always comes home. One night, Moses discovered the dark secret Egypt tried to hide. He wasn't born of the palace. He was born of the oppressed. Everything inside him shattered. The sand beneath his feet felt heavier, the palace walls colder. The songs of Egypt suddenly sounded like chains, and in a moment of anger, confusion, and compassion, he struck down an Egyptian guard who was beating a Hebrew slave. The next morning, Moses wasn't a prince, he was a fugitive. The wilderness of broken men, the desert welcomed him with silence. Silence so deep it swallowed every memory of Egypt. But in the wilderness, broken men become new men. Moses found a people who took him in. He found peace, love, and purpose, and for the first time he felt like himself. He married Zipporah, tended sheep, walked mountains barefoot, a prince learning how to live like a man. Then one day, the mountain burned. The burning bush. Flames danced on a bush, but the leaves never burned. A voice called his name, not loud, not harsh, but powerful enough to shake the earth. Moses, Moses. He removed his sandals. He bowed. He trembled. God spoke of his people's suffering, of chains, whips, and prayers rising from the dust. And then the command shook Moses to the core. Go back to Egypt. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. A shepherd, standing before the flame of eternity, became something else that day. Not a prince, not a killer, not a wanderer, a deliverer, a deliverer. The God who doesn't fear kings. Moses returned to Egypt with a staff, a brother, and a calling that outweighed empires. Pharaoh, his brother in childhood, now hardened by power, laughed at the command of God. Then Egypt witnessed wonder and terror. Water turned to blood, darkness swallowed daylight, thunderstorms of fire crashed like war drums. The Nile cried, the land trembled, the gods of Egypt fell silent. But Pharaoh's heart stayed stone, until the night the angel passed through Egypt. A night of sorrow so deep that even Pharaoh finally whispered, "Go." At the edge of the Red Sea, panic spread. The waters stretched wide and impossible. The enemy thundered closer, but Moses stepped forward, staff raised, eyes blazing with faith older than fear. The wind roared, the sea shook, and the impossible unfolded. Walls of water rose like crystal towers. A dry path opened beneath the waves, and the people walked between miracles, safe, silent, amazed. When Pharaoh's army followed, the waters crashed down like judgment itself. Freedom washed over the shore. The legacy of the prince. Moses was no longer the confused boy torn between two worlds. He was the man chosen to lead one world out of another, a prince of Egypt by chance, a servant of God by destiny. And the story of the boy from the Nile became a song passed down for generations, a song of courage, faith, and a God who lifts the lowly and humbles the mighty.